like, listen, it's not fair because he's quoting other people saying it. It's not like he's calling people the N-word. So it seemed like it was a smear tactic, and we defended him.
Mm.
That's when people were making these videos of him.
What's going on, you guys? Today we have Kyle Kulinski calling out Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan has been spiraling ever since he endorsed Trump. Kyle Kulinski is tearing him apart piece by piece. I'm giving my commentary. Let's watch.
One thing that I've really enjoyed about your show lately is you've been calling out fake independent media. And I love that because I haven't been able, like, I felt what you've been saying, but I haven't articulated it in the way that you have. And it really spoke to me because it feels like we're in this weird era where the hope that I had, and this is like, maybe I'm just being too much of a fucking doomer, but, I really felt like independent media was a panacea.
Yep.
Because corporate media was just dog shit. And it's still dog shit, obviously. But now there's almost, there's like a balance where I think that there's good and bad about independent media. But corporate media, there's also good and bad. Like, you can tune into corporate media and expect somebody to get neoliberal talking points and pro-war talking points, but not necessarily anti-vax talking points.
Right.
Then you tune into, independent media, and you're getting this weird, obscure conspiracy theories and bullshit. And it's so hard because, like, we have big platforms, but at the same time, we don't have the reach as these other people on the right who get a lot of views by pushing raw milk or whatever bullshit trend is the thing that they're going for. So I wanted to ask you about Joe Rogan because you've been going after him, clapping his cheeks, and it's so satisfying because I think that as a former guest of Rogan, you have clout that nobody else has. Like, for me, I'm just some like angry asshole on the internet, but you were on his show, you know him, so they kind of have to listen to what you have to say. So I'm curious, you've been going after Joe Rogan. Talk to what was like the breaking point for you in terms of like, I'm going to attack him publicly. And also let me know, do you think that there's been any response from Rogan? Like, has he reached out? Has any of his fans reached out? Have you shown them the light? Because you've tried so hard to make him see the light and get him to not be reactionary. But I think that ultimately he's just too stupid to be able to not be influenced by people around him. And I have friends like that where, like I knew this one girl, her politics changed based on who she dated. And I feel like that's Rogan, but it's like with his guests. So like, do you think that you've seen any response, or is this kind of you planting seeds? And
Before Kyle Kulinski gets into it, I want to give this guy props for sort of giving Joe the benefit of the doubt, giving Joe Rogan the benefit of the doubt. But I mean, I could tell you what relationship he's gotten into. He's laying in a bed covered with $100 million. That's $100 million. That relationship, I definitely can have you. Definitely believe that can start having you change what you say and how you act, and not want to lose that person. He's talking about a girl not wanting to lose her boyfriend, so she changed her political views. He's dating the money, which is like literally going to keep him alive unless he wants to find a different way and use his brain to find a different way to survive. So yeah, he's made his decision.
the tree will grow years from now, and you'll see maybe a lot of fallen fans in the future. Let me know your take, because I think what you're doing is really important.
So, in terms of whether or not there was a single moment that really opened my eyes, the answer is no. It was just an amalgamation of so many little moments here and there that added up. And then the point where it became just irreparable and pathetic, honestly, is what functionally was the single worst interview of Trump I've ever seen in my life. Like Rogan did a worse job than whoever the biggest hack on CNN would do. Like,
Yeah.
there was nothing substantive. There was nothing difficult. He repeatedly let Trump lie to his face. Literally about stealing the election. He let him go off about that. Trump said, "I never said lock her up," about Hillary. He just sat there and took it. So that was when it was like, okay. And then he came out and endorsed him like right before the election. So it was just so clear, like, you're cooked. Like, you're just a joke at this point. You're just a mess. You don't think about these things seriously. And my issue with Joe is that he's all vibes. Like, everything is vibes based. And so when you have on me and I make good arguments, you're not along in agreement and say that's a great point. But then you have on Ben Shapiro and he makes the exact opposite arguments on every topic and you're not along in agreement and you say that's right. And like, first of all, that logically makes no sense. Like, you're just contradicting yourself. Right. And so There were a bunch of red flags really started to show around the time where he was playing footsie with DeSantis. So it was like, look, everything you say you care about, this guy is disagrees with you. But it was really like, I think COVID was the thing that really made him snap. COVID, he became like a full-on COVID conspiracy theorist, anti-vax kind of guy. And what's so ironic about that is like, Trump oversaw the lockdowns. Trump did Operation Warp Speed to get us the vaccine. So even according to your own standard, he does it like he would be the last person you should support for president, but he ended up supporting him. So
what Joe Rogan symbolizes is far more important than, him as a person. It's he plays the role of an anti-intellectual, you can't tell me what to do, like macho type of guy. And that's where majority of the people started to go right. That's where a lot of people that if they weren't like super on Trump's side to begin with, even though I'm sure they enjoyed some of the crap that he said, because he is that type of like poster child idiot of America. If they weren't already on his side, then now once COVID hit, you have a lot of these young guys, again, anti-intellectual, tough guy, macho, don't want to be told what to do. They don't really care about their health anyway. That's not what a lot of these guys really care about. They care about how can I get some muscles, how can I do this and that, but they don't really care about their actual health. You see them they'll still drink. They won't really eat, the healthy foods for themselves. It's not really about their health. It's all, again, it's going into something different, but these guys don't want to be told what to do. And Joe Rogan sort of symbolizes that and sort of symbolizes the disconnect from America, from this progressive movement and a lot of young men.
Yeah, there was no individual moment in terms of like what happens going forward. I haven't talked to him. He hasn't talked to me. There was a time in the past where we would talk occasionally by text message or whatever. But the last time I probably talked to him was maybe the last time I was on his show. And
oh, wow.
And I remember there was a time when he thanked me and Crystal because he was getting a lot of shit online because they put together like a compilation of him saying the N-word. And our reaction to that was like, listen, it's not fair because he's quoting other people saying it. It's not like he's calling people the N-word. So it seemed like it was a smear tactic, and we defended him. That's when people were making these videos of him. They put compilations of every left-wing thing he said together, one after the other. Oh, universal healthcare and free college, and I want to treat trans people equally, et cetera, et cetera. And so we defended him. But now when I look back on those moments, I am embarrassed because all of the critics were right. All the critics who were like, yeah, you started saying right-wing things. You're going to keep saying more and more right-wing things. Eventually, you're going to go full MAGA. His harshest critics from day one were the most accurate. And people like me look dumb for taking him at face value and saying, no, I actually think maybe he is a decent guy. No, I actually think he means what he says when he supports universal healthcare and this, that. Really, you support universal healthcare? You just endorsed the guy who 3 million people lost their health insurance the last time he was in office. You don't care about this at all. It is all vibes. And he surrounded himself with all these right-leaning people from the UFC and other edgy right-wing comedians and Dana White, who's big-time MAGA. And it's like, you are in an echo chamber and nobody disagrees or tells you the truth. When you're that powerful and rich, you usually are surrounded by yes men. And Rogan is surrounded by yes men who have a right-wing worldview. And so basically, like, my efforts failed. Like, I have no problem saying that my efforts failed. I really did try my best to get through to him, make good arguments, sort of explain it simply. And in the moment he would agree, but then later on he would contradict himself. And then eventually he went full MAGA. So that's also why you see me with the passion that I speak about him now, is because I'm an empiricist. You have to show me, hey, will this work? Will this not work? This didn't work. So then I look at that and go, okay, well, fuck it then. I'm going to do the thing which deep down I feel like is the right thing anyway, which is call out the bullshit aggressively. Shame.
So there we have it, you guys. And I'm really happy that Kyle Kulinski did say that, he regrets what he had done, defending Joe Rogan for just whenever he had that entire compilation. I think it was 20 minutes of Joe Rogan. So anyway, what I'm wanting to say is that I think it's important to know when to come together and then when to let someone go do their own thing, let someone go find their truth. Because deep down, Joe Rogan, I believe, did want to appear cool, appear down, appear one way or another. Yeah, I'm for blah, blah, blah. I'm for this and that. But what was it grounded in? Is it grounded in actual truth? Is it grounded in actual peace and actual kindness? Is it overflowing from you? And if it's not, then you do have to go, I believe, and find it on your own. No one else can find that love in your heart besides you. But, that being said, I do believe it is still important to come together sometimes if need be. But if someone has to leave, if someone has to go on their own and find their own ideology and find the kindness in their heart, finds that at the end of this tunnel money won't really give them any happiness, then that's what they have to do. But look, let me know what you guys think in the comments. It's another day in the progressive way.